Hello everyone, my name is Anish Kumar. I'm a freshman at George Washington University in DC. I'm originally from New Jersey. I've been a part of FBLA since my freshman year in high school, and I've competed in 4 events: Introduction to Public Speaking, Impromptu Speaking, Public Speaking, and Future Business Leader. So before performing, it's very normal to feel anxious or nervous on the big day. I will feel nervous or anxious even when I was practicing with myself in front of the mirror, or with my family, or with my friends. And the best trick that calmed my nerves came from my mentor and our New Jersey State advisor, Miss Clark. And what she'll say is, close your eyes, take a deep breath, inhale, exhale, smile, say, you've got this, you've got this, you're gonna do great. And it may seem silly, may be cliche, but trust me, it works. And it's the only thing that worked for me, and it's something that I still do to this day before any college presentations or where I have to do any big speaking event. Personal stories are always, for me especially, it's the most challenging part of the rubric. Sometimes the prompt hits close to home, so it's easy to create a story. Sometimes it doesn't. So how do we bring a personal story to a prompt that maybe we have not experienced, or a prompt that perhaps we don't relate to? In my opinion, a personal story is a very broad term. It could be your story, it can be your parents' story, it can be a friend's story. Personally, in the prompt I had a prompt related to how does higher education need to transform to accommodate the growing needs of the 21st century? And I used my dad's career story as my personal story. So I know this year the prompt is about networking, and so all of us, we're all high schoolers. We just started our careers. And the chances that we have a story about meeting someone and that turning into a career opportunity, it's a low probability. So this might be a prompt that you might not relate to closely enough for you to have a personal story. So you have to think a little bit outside of the box. What can we talk about? So on the top of my mind, I could think, is there any advice that someone has given you that you can bring in here? Or perhaps your parents have a story where in their career they had a coffee chat and that panned out into a job offer. Or perhaps it's something small, something not professional, personal, a friendship, a relationship. You just gotta think a little bit outside of the box here. And you have to think beyond just a personal story. Is not something that you experience, but it's something that perhaps you've heard from someone, or perhaps it's your thoughts and you can put your own spin on it. In my opinion, the best strategy is to be authentic, remain calm, and be yourself. The thing about speeches, the thing about authenticity is, if you put on a different persona, if you are nervous, when that spotlight is on you, the audience will know. So the best way to do that is be comfortable, be yourself. And what I mean by that is, if you're a laid back person, if you're funny, make a joke or two. Feel comfortable to do that. There's no need to be stiff and formal on stage if that's not who you are. There are no hard and fast rules to public speaking. Being yourself, letting your personality shine through, being genuine, that is what sets you apart from your competitors. And that is what makes you worth listening to. So in my speech, I used quotes, I used jokes, I talk with my hands a lot, as you've already seen. So I used that too. I used a little sarcasm in my body language, and that's what worked for me. I got chuckles out of the crowd, and actually while I was speaking, a couple of people started clapping for one of my jabs. And not only is the audience engaged, but knowing that they are engaged gives you a little bit of a confidence boost. While you're speaking, you know that they're listening, and for me especially, it calms me down a little and it gives you a little bit of a confidence boost. So don't be afraid to be yourself. I use a very specific format for my speeches, and this is something that I created when I did the impromptu speaking event, and it's also something that I've stuck with. I start off with a hook. The hook can be a quote, a joke, a question, but this is your attention grabber. You have few seconds to grab the attention of the audience, and you gotta keep it. But this is where you gotta be careful. When you're using a joke or a quote or a saying perhaps, you have to make sure that it's not too cliche. You gotta put your spin on it. Then you gotta define the problem. What are you here to talk about? What are you here to address? Then move in to defining the solution. How are you going to address the problem? What is your take on this problem? That is the solution. Your opinion. That's where that comes in. And then, why do you have this opinion? That's number 4, your personal story. What event in your life, what conversation, what happened in your life, your personal story that helped you form this opinion on this particular problem? Then the plan of action. What can the audience do to take advantage of your solution? This is where you're going to address how your opinion matters to the audience, why they should care. That's your plan of action. And then you're going to conclude and then do a call to action. You're going to sum up your speech real quick, summarize it for them, summarize the main message you want them to take away from it, and then you're going to leave your audience with a thought. Is there something that they could take initiative on? Or perhaps it's something you just want to keep lingering. The call to action is also a broad term, and you feel free to put your take on it, because like I said, there's no hard and fast rules to public speaking. This format, it's a start to a pretty solid speech. Not every topic, not every speech will fit perfectly within these bullet points, but when you're brainstorming and you're writing and you use this format, it gets your thoughts flowing, and then you could refine it. So consider using it. The best advice I could give is don't memorize. Don't memorize your speech. Understand it. You see, if you work on memorizing your speech word for word, if anything unidealistic happens on competition day, something as small as the timekeeper starting the timer a little early so you have 10 seconds less, or perhaps you got a little nervous and you blanked. Both has happened to me, and the problem with memorization is when this unideal situation happens, you will stumble for words, you will blank, and you go into this almost panic-like state, and the audience will notice that, and that will reflect poorly on you. So how you're going to avoid this is you're going to understand your speech. You're going to understand the flow of the speech. What is your main message? What is your call to action? What is your personal story? You're going to understand the format, the flow, and the message. And you're going to understand where you can cut down. Where are you elaborating? And where do you need to elaborate? And if you're short on time, where can you add more? So if you understand all of this, no matter what competition day throws at you, you will kill it. And that's the biggest advice that I could give, because that's what I've learned in my experience in public speaking. Thank you so much, guys, for this opportunity. I really appreciated it. FBLA has given me a lot, and I'm happy to share what I can with my fellow students. Thank you.